We are live. I'm just making sure that the audio is correct before I continue. Okay. I have music on in another tab, so I'm just making sure that that's on too. Man, this color palette I've chosen is kind of horrible in retrospect. I think what I'm gonna do now is continue the cape, just because that probably needs the most work right now. It's still not gonna fix how stiff it looks when it runs, but it's probably better than nothing. I mean, I like purple, it's just like purple and yellow probably wasn't a good idea. um... Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Yeah, green and purple might be a good idea. I'll give that a shot too. I can actually change most of the hues of the stuff afterwards, so if this doesn't work out, then there we go. Oh, I need like a smaller brush for this. It is pretty relaxing, actually. I do like making the characters just kind of like zoning out. It can be a bit frustrating at first when you don't really know what you're doing, but after that, it's pretty nice when you are able to control the camera and stuff. Painting is especially kind of fun. Like, I wasn't keen on it at first because you can't really like texture things as objects. You have to like paint over them like this. But once I've done that, it's not too bad. Yeah, I don't use mic too often. Ooh, oh my god. Okay, that doesn't look too bad, but... Hmm... Hmm... Oh, this looks pretty good, actually. Oh, I really like that, actually. Yes! Okay, we'll keep that. Um... Now, the only problem is the hat. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, I guess. Um... The controls can be very, very frustrating at first, but I actually found them pretty good after a while. The biggest problem for me was the like camera, because like it's R1 to like position and rotate in place, and you can like rotate your camera like this with the motion controls. But once you get used to it, it's actually pretty intuitive. Um, I spent like 6 hours trying to get the controls correct. Like I couldn't get a grasp of it for a little while, so it's definitely a steep learning curve. But once that's done, it's actually pretty relaxing. Hey Dare, what's up? Oh yeah, Dara, sorry. I always forget that's your name. Um, let's try like a pink purple. Okay. My favorite thing about this game so far is that you can actually like I don't think it's in right now. Like you used to be able to do this in like the closed beta, but I guess it's like temporarily disabled. But you used to be able to like just import your own music with like MP3s via like the website, which was like amazing. Um, because there were actually a few people that like had like Roblox oof sound effects. And it was like perfect quality, so there's no way they recorded it with a mic. Um, they will. I think it's just disabled because like they found some bugs in it during closed beta. So see, and that's the thing is that like in Little Big Planet they didn't restrict like copyright content. The only thing you'd really run into a problem with is if you wanted to get your level dev picked. Um, which, you know, obviously doesn't happen unless you're really good, but they wouldn't dev pick levels that had copyright material in them. So like if you made like a Mario level or like tried to emulate it or like a Sonic level or something, they wouldn't be able to pick it, but they would leave it alone. Hell, there was a Sonic level pack. I mean, they got the rights for that, obviously, so it's not really the same. But before the level pack was even out, they had that ability to, you know, just have it in the game anyway. They just couldn't use it in promo materials. Is essentially what I'm saying. Many are just using the headphone jack on the controller and plugging it into their. Oh, that's interesting. No, but like from what I've been told, there's like an actually like you know the indreams.me that you can access the website when you have the game. I believe there was an option to upload audio there. So like I think that's related. But you know that sounds like a pretty decent alternative if they ever end up not including audio. Um or like audio uploads, I guess I should say. Oh, whoops. There we go. And like I haven't even tried the level editing suite yet because it functions a lot. It functions exactly like this, obviously, but I just have zero gameplay experience in terms of creating stuff. I've just been doing characters because I find it super fun. Actually, yeah, that looks a lot better than I thought it would. Let's give it a try in play mode. I kind of want to make like the head move independently. And it kind of does, like it has that little jiggle, but it's not really substantial. Let's see if I can add some like, oops, No, not sway. Very, very minor motion sensor. Okay, that's not working. I think I have to up it a little bit more. There's a faster way to test things, but I'm lazy. Okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, you know what I could do is go into the neck joint here. I don't even need to make like the motion controller problem thing because I can just make the head shake with the body. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that works so well. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Oh, the only problem is that like the head kind of clips into the helmet there. Oh, but I have an idea. Now, where is this helmet part connected to? See, this is my own problem, is that I'm really sloppy with my joints. Okay, let's see. Because if I could connect this to the head instead of the body, when the head shakes, the hat should move with it. Oh jeez, I can't even see through my own Okay, let's lock rotation. It's a little too bouncy, but that works, yeah. See, this is gonna be a pain because I hate clipping. I wonder if what happens if I put it down like lower here. Perfect. I mean, there's a bit of clipping still, but I don't really care at this point. It's so minor that nobody's gonna notice. I should probably cover those. cover every square inch of this thing with paint. I'm not using the same brush type, but, you know, works just the same. I do want to leave, like, the little flap things from my sculpt intact. So that's why I'm not coloring, like, the bottom. This dynamic tint is so useful, by the way. Like, the fact that it changes the value depending on where you are in the sculpture is, like, actually really impressive. There we go. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm using mic. It's just going to be a lot of dead air. But I mean, people don't come here for the commentary, I guess. People don't come here at all. Is it? Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Most of the time I just think I'm, like, rambling. And I mean, I guess I am, but at the very least, it's not just quiet. Honestly, if I could just, like, if I had an actual capture card and I could, like, add music to this, I would. Just so that it's not just my voice filling the air. But, you know, whatever. Now, I'm completely new to the paint mode in this. Like, I've only ever just experimented with it right now. So I'm wondering if there's a way to, like, shade things in, because this feels like it lacks a bit of dimension. Most of the sculpting... See, the problem that I had was that I did a lot of my sculpting assuming I could color it in, like, with textures, which that doesn't really work. You need to use the actual paint tool to do that. So, like, that thing I'm using, it's actually covering it with, like, little, like, painting. Like, this entire color that I've been using on the cape is actually a separate layer of its own that, like, kind of, like, follows the curves of the sculpt. So I guess I did myself a couple favors by, like, doing ripples in the actual thing, but it's not exactly textured, per se. And then there's, like, this big thing here. Like, this little rim. Let's see if I can do, like, a... I don't know what color to use. Like, I want, like, for the rim. Like, this sculpt color is fine, but I want something more vibrant because right now he's looking a little drab. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point. He's supposed to be macabre, but Um, let's do like a pink. Oops. I didn't mean to test you. It's not really a pink. What the heck? I'll probably edit the tints and stuff afterwards. You know, the texture of this brush reminds me of that game from on the Xbox. It was like called like Viva Pinata. That was the name. Like they look like little like flecks that you would like gotta make out of confetti or paper mache or something. And while I kind of don't want like my whole character to look like that. It's, you know, very similar. Yeah, Viva. I actually heard that that game was pretty good despite its very Xbox 360 launch appearance. It's like a garden sim, I think. Yeah. I always used to think like as a kid I used to watch a lot of like 4Kids TV, and there was a show that was like that was Viva Pinata, and I always thought like the show came first and the game was like made after it, which was, you know, why I thought it was kind of mediocre. But it turns out I think it was actually the other way around. So like, you know, it was based off of the game, which probably would have made me a lot more enthusiastic about the whole thing, to be honest. Mm. Let's see how this looks with like a. Maybe like a desaturated pink. It's not really a pink. I mean, it is, but saturation. Let's make it a little more. Hmm. Yeah, that looks all right. Yeah, the 360 had a pretty decent library. I never really had one growing up, and I was kind of like, you know, conditioned by the console wars of old to completely dismiss other consoles that I didn't have. So like I had like GameCube, PS2, PS3. Um, Actually, no, I did have a 360, but it was like for like a fraction of a year, and we immediately sold it for a Wii. It was a pretty backwards thing, but we never played it. So my dad's like, you know what, we'll just get something everybody else can play too, and we proceeded to never play the Wii either. You know, I'm considering maybe I should use like a smaller brush for the finer details, but at the same time, I don't really care. What is this? What? Oh, this is where the models intercept, sort of. I was wondering where that bump came from. See, This is why I'm grateful that they have motion controls on the PS4 controller, because I've just been because doing this with a control stick would give me not only carpal tunnel but an aneurysm. So for once in my life, I am glad that there are motion controls. Don't quote me on that though. I don't think I'll be grateful for them for anything else, except for like this game in particular. How does that look? Oh, you know what I could do as well? Oh, I'll do it later. I'm just gonna cover this completely first. Actually, yeah, Splatoon is amazing for motion controls. I forgot about that. Although I guess they're not really motion controls, they're gyro controls. That's what these are. Like motion controls would be like the move where it actually like tracks like every axis. This is more just like tilt and direction. I actually don't even know if there's a difference. I'm probably just trying to sound smart when I'm not. Honestly, yes. I was considering getting a move for this, but the control scheme when you're using the move controllers is completely different than when you're using a controller. And I'm already so used to the controller that I don't really want to switch, because it took me hours to get the controls working for this on the actual controller. So I don't want to relearn and go through that painful process again. Not right now, anyway. But you know, I definitely see people like that want to. It's like definitely better for sculpting. I feel like having that range of motion with the move controllers would be amazing for like modeling stuff. Yeah, see, my main problem with motion controls is that they're very gimmicky and like they barely serve a purpose outside of being an alternative. And like the other thing is that like for people that are disabled and like have like no don't have as much range of motion with their body, like if you're making a motion controller exclusive game, that like excludes them almost automatically every single time, which I have a huge problem with. I don't have motor issues myself, but I like know people that do, and not being able to play a game because they force you to use motion controls without having some sort of alternative is really shitty. That's my main gripe with them anyway. I don't actually like hate motion controls or think that the devs do it on purpose, but like it's definitely an like inherent problem with motion controls. Skyward Sword, yeah. That's like a big example that I always hear. I've never actually played it myself though. I'm not actually huge into Zelda myself, to be honest. I keep seeing like little flecks that fly off the snap to the surface. Like if it's for little things like just moving the head around like in Little Big Planet, like it's cute. I like that, and it's not completely necessary. But for stuff like I don't know Skyward Sword where they forced it on you instead of having like some sort of like alternative traditional control scheme, I hate stuff like that. Drives me absolutely nuts when developers do it as well. Hmm. Okay, let me try something here. Uh, Whoa. Oops. Not what I wanted to do. Oh, of course they don't. Um, there's no way that they do. Like, I just think that it's kind of like an inherent problem with motion controls is that you, even if you don't mean to, you do kind of end up excluding people with problems. And of course, there's no real band aid fix for that either. Like, there are games with regular controls that have that too. I just think that um, motion controls tend to be the biggest culprit and that sort of thing. Okay. So I'm wondering if... Let's try, like... You do have to save, but, it's actually really quick. The one thing I'm really surprised with this game is actually the load times. So, quick save, bam. The saving takes a little bit depending on how, tough your thing is, but in Little Big Planet there used to be like a whole load screen, even on PS4, between like play mode and create mode. But if I do this, start, bam, immediately into the scene. And back into edit mode in like 2 seconds. It actually loads a lot of games like super quick, which is really, really interesting. I don't know how they managed to make the load times so minuscule, but they are a godsend for a game like this, because you are constantly going into play mode and testing things. But yeah, frequently saving is probably a good idea. Thank you for reminding me to do that, by the way, because I hadn't in like several hours. But the cool thing is that you can actually like, if you publish a creation to the world, like say I put this guy out for people to use, and you make an update in your save, you can actually just update the universal item in everyone's game, and they can choose to like update it themselves, sort of like a firmware update for like PlayStation or whatever, which is like super neat. I find that awesome. Okay, well I think that's actually about as good as I'm gonna get for like the paints for like the cloth, because that actually looks like cloth now, which is great. Oh, I forgot to do the ruffle. Fuck. Okay. I'm gonna do the hat as well, but yeah. Oh my god, I've had a few problems being like an art person myself, where I don't save it all, and the program crashes. I don't get that as much now that I use Clip Studio Paint, but with Photoshop, that used to be like awful. Oh, okay. There we go. Oh shit. Okay, there we go. I forgot to do the tops. There we go. It kind of looks like he's wearing like a bathrobe or something fuzzy, which I don't really have a problem with. See, my main concern now is different textures, because this is all fine and good, like it looks good, but I need like maybe some variety. Like I don't want these orbs to look like cloth. Um let's try like a different shade. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So you can do like, you can do shading. You just have to do it in a painting. Now if I could tell like where I put my sculpt contours, that'd be great. Hmm. Oh, that's not gonna work. Also, the amount of like memory you have for like undos is kind of impressive. Let's see if I can just do like the edges or something with like a darker purple. Purple. Hmm. Yeah, that looks alright. I like this brush because it kind of gives like the sketch look, or like the, what do they call it, cross hatching in the art world. No, I could just do this with lighting, but I find lighting to be like annoying to rig. Oh, that looks awesome. At least from the front, or the. Okay. If I could do like I'm gonna see if I can do like a gradient effect. Hmm. I wonder if I could like make like a little like polka dot thing for his undercoat or something. Hmm. Oh, I'm using a DualShock 4. I don't have any Move controllers. I actually find um, the DualShock controllers to be surprisingly intuitive. Like you don't think so at the start because like, God, you're like clamoring to even like make it work. Um, but after a while, once you get used to them, it's pretty damn good. That's not the right brush. Or maybe I just need to make it smaller. The DualShock or the Move controllers actually look different in terms of UI as well, so that's an easy way to tell. Yeah, no, honestly, the controls are the biggest gateway to knowing how to play this and work this game because like um what am I trying to say? It's essentially like really difficult to get used to the controls, but once you do, it feels like natural. Um, my biggest hurdle for a little while was like grouping and how that worked, because there's like little like nested groups and stuff like that, which can be very frustrating to work with if you're trying to make like moving things. Because it's sort of like layers in Photoshop, um, and you can have things connected to different things in different layers, etc. So it's really hard to describe, let alone learn. But once you do, it's fun. Um, Also, ooh, did you tag me in a Snorunt? My little boy. Maybe not. But if you do, you know. Yeah, I was a little frustrated too, but I just kind of kept at it. I've actually been up till like 5 in the morning the last couple nights trying to make this work. And I finally got it, so it paid off after a little while. But oh, Pokemon Ranger has Snorunts in it? Amazing. Let's see. Okay, let's try doing some of the snout and stuff. Actually, let me try using a different brush. Oh yeah, heavy looks good actually. Oh yeah, this must be for like fine details. Yeah, I have a bit of a problem. Although to be fair, it was like this way back when the original Little Big Planet came out too, so I guess old David's old habits die hard. Mod Nation was a game that I got and I played for a really long time, and I even like subscribed to like the newsletter to get into the beta. But and I did, and then once the actual game came out, I didn't end up playing it too much. Shame what happened to that game too. I feel really bad about that. You know what? I'm gonna turn off joint wires and just focus on getting this done. Oh, the bolts? Those are for moving the character. Like, they're attached to the head and neck, as well as, obviously the legs. Um, I'm not actually using the entire puppet rig. A lot of the upper body is actually just animating on its own with, like, spring bolts. Which was actually a trick I like to use in Little Big Planet to animate my characters as well. Although in this it's a little bit more difficult when it's three-dimensional, but I guess that should be obvious. Thank you. Oh, and also, I forgot to show this off, but like, I'm activating it with Square at the moment, but like, it's also the eyes which are animated to blink and such. Oh, the nostrils aren't attached to the actual thing. There we go. I might make a wink button. It's a good idea. He's gonna do like a sexy look. Uh, okay, what kind of texture do I want? Oh, yeah. Let's do like a splat. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. There you go. Oops. That's like a little too dark. Oh yeah, that's way too much. Oops. See, I have the paint tool on. Of course, no problem, dude. I have the paint tool on like following the guide or like models, so like it's actually just like snapping to the surface of stuff, which is actually like super useful for painting and stuff. That's how I'm actually even doing this with a semblance of accuracy. There we go. Okay, let's see. See, I don't actually do streams like this very often. I was thinking of doing one when the game launched, and I did for a little bit, but I had no idea what I was doing, so I got nowhere very quickly. But now that I sort of understand how this editor and stuff works, it's been a lot more fun to stream stuff. This being the first time I've actually streamed it in a very long time, but or since I started. But you know, I'm gonna consider doing this more in the future, just because I also want to see if I can like um, edit like speed or like time lapses of some of the stuff I've made, because I find that stuff really cool and it looks really neat and fast motion. It makes you look like a pro. So I mean, you know, can't miss out on that. Yeah, that's the big thing too. Is like I was frustrated for a little while, and then I just decided to be like, fuck it, and I went back to like the tutorials and like really studied them. And because at the start when I was just like beginning, I kind of like blazed through them because I wanted to get into the game as fast as possible. But it ended up being really beneficial that I actually like went back and listened and went through every single one. I haven't done the masterclass ones, but those are still really intimidating. So, because like, dude makes like a fucking like male bust that looks like it belongs in a goddamn museum, and I'm like, okay, wow, I'm supposed to follow along with that because that's kind of insane. Actually, there haven't, because it's so like early in because like the early access only began like maybe a week ago now, I think, or less than a week, almost a week. There's like no online tutorials. Everybody's kind of figuring stuff out for the first time, other than people that were in the alpha, obviously. But even them, they kind of like uh, don't really have any guides up, or if they do, they're very designed for people that already have a lot of the knowledge of the game in mind. Which seems like something that would be a little annoying, but it's actually kind of fun being able to like pioneer discoveries, if that makes sense. Um, but yeah, so like there wasn't really a lot of things. The one thing that I wanted to learn puppets really badly because like as somebody who wants to be a character designer and an animator in the future, this is like the perfect game for like practicing modeling and stuff and understanding how like procedural animation works and stuff like that. So like I jumped immediately to characters, and at first I had no idea what I was doing. Like, um, they give you two kinds of puppets, right? One with logic and one without it. And both of them have procedural animation on, which means like the feet will like find their spot on the ground and adapt to the ground and stuff. So like if you have like an incline, it'll look like it's trying to climb it with its feet. If that makes sense. Sort of like how if you like step on a rock in like a AAA game, like the character's foot will like snap to that rock. Um, so at first I had no idea how to make my own custom puppets do that. Um, and eventually I learned that you have to make all the parts of your puppet. One corresponding to each limb of the body. You don't need the entire body, just the legs, preferably, because that's what's going to be touching the ground. And you had to like scope into the actual like blank puppet after you delete the puppet itself and just use the base. And like basically steal its innards and its skeleton and just like apply the this piece is the foot, this piece is the leg, type deal. Um, but that took me like a good 3 hours to understand. Because the character tutorial only really covers like doing things with the existing one and like editing the actual like existing pieces, but like making like a completely custom puppet like this um took a lot of figuring out. And there weren't tutorials for any of that, at least not to my knowledge. See, the one thing that I had a problem with too is like oh, hang on, I got a call coming in, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. um but yeah, like the other thing is that like it was really impossible to like describe what I wanted to do in Google. And especially when a lot of the terminology this game uses is shared by like industry stuff, so like animating, like it's going to take me to an actual like program like Toon Boom or whatever, like animating tutorial. It's like, no, I want this for like this game I'm playing, not the actual animating software. This may as well just be animating software, to be honest, though. um but yeah, but once I had that figured out, I like was able to sort of like hardwire my own knowledge and sort of like figure things out as I went. So I was like figuring out like how the legs are treated, etc. Like, so the puppet, for in order for the legs to find the ground and like autopath on their own, they require calves, which are like the bones, like the calf bones. Um, so if I preview invisible here, you can actually see that there actually are calves here, but they are invisible during normal gameplay, so it just looks like he has stumps for legs. Um, which is super neat because it actually like works really well too, and like when you're actually looking at it, because like it looks like those are just his feet. Like so there's a lot of like workarounds and like technicalities that you have to use to like get the desired effects, at least so far. Um, the best thing about hiding like objects is that like even if they're invisible, they still have like physics. So it'll be treated like a. The thing that's different about Little Big Planet, like going into this game, is that like it's a lot more. You can do a lot more with the physics and like the connectors and stuff like that. Um, which is the coolest part. So like in Little Big Planet, if you had something that was like under a lot of stress, like you had something heavy trying to be balanced by something or like very light as like the bottom piece, and you connected that with like a rod or something, the bottom piece would crumble under the weight of the thicker top piece. Um, in this, that's not really a thing because like you can tell it that, oh, this has like no weight or it has less weight than what you think it does. And that's the one huge thing that I've learned, like that I can't really apply my Little Big Planet knowledge to in this. Um, oh, I should probably mention that I spent like literally half of my teenage years playing Little Big Planet, so like a lot of this actually did end up helping me understand concepts and stuff in Dreams, especially logic, which is almost virtually untouched um, from Little Big Planet in terms of like functionality and like the devices that you use. So I had a bit of a leg up from the start for that at least. That's better. Although, sometimes my knowledge of Little Big Planet actually hurt me more than it helped me. Like, the physics in this versus Little Big Planet are so drastically different that it feels like it's almost a detriment going in and assuming it's going to work like Little Big Planet, which is what I did. And, like, in some ways it does, but in a lot of ways it does not. Um, like that example that I gave you earlier with, like, the heavy piece on top of the little piece, or, like, the light piece. That was one of the major problems with my understanding. Was that like I was assuming, oh, I can't do this because in Little Big Planet it worked like this, and that's a very self-destructive mindset to have. I keep noticing like little bits that I miss. Thankfully, I can iron those out before they go into play. Oops. See, like, I think the reason it's doing that is because, like, the surface snap is not detecting any ground underneath the brush. This piece underneath I don't even think is ever going to get seen by the player, but I'm going to be coloring it either way. Thank you very much. It means a lot. Um, Although, to be honest, if this was like the alpha period, I only got a certain amount of time, I probably wouldn't have nearly as much done. Having free reign of the tools for an unlimited amount of time up until actual release is a godsend for learning the game, obviously. So I wouldn't really, contribute lack of progress in the beta to something like that. Or be relevant. The cool thing I actually found about this, like being an LBP vet, is like actually seeing a lot of like what my friends made. I haven't talked to a lot of them in like literally years because I stopped like, um, you know, talking to a lot of them back when Little Big Planet kind of like died off a bit. But now seeing them all again and like it's been like a really nostalgic experience. Also, I'm using like R2 to like brush and moving the controller with the motion sensor and the gyro to like paint and make strokes. The way you almost have to look at this is like an actual arts and crafts project, if I'm being real. Like fine, I've got the actual like build of the stuff, like I'm coloring in, or like I've made the actual like model of something and now I'm covering it in like paper mache or like confetti as like texture. You know what I mean? Um, you can texture and have like add texture to just like regular objects too. Like you don't have to paint to make something look nice. But, you know, I have a bad habit of not finishing my sentences, by the way. So, you know, if you're here, get used to that, because I don't seem to find a way to stop myself from not finishing sentences. Yeah, it looks pretty good so far. I mean, I guess to answer your question more accurately, I am kind of moving the whole controller, but it's only for like little movements, like tilting my wrists. Well, I'm relieved someone thinks I speak well. There we go. This game has been awful for my backlog of video games as well, because like I've done nothing but play this since the alpha came, or the beta came out, and or the early access, I should say. It's not. I guess it's technically a beta. I digress. And I have like 3 RPGs on the go right now that I really want to finish, but I've been having too much fun with this to even bother with those. So there's like so many cool creations so far too. Like it's just the early access, so I'm like really excited to see what the community does for, um, you know, when they have a like when like a year from now, for example, stuff like that. Yeah, don't quit. Keep at it. You got this. Oh right, I hid the bot. I was like, where the hell did it go? Also, the devs of this game have been so cool, um, with the community. Like, I'm in a Discord server, that actually has like the devs like responding to people's questions and like, how do I do this and this, and people are giving like they're giving like examples, and they're like on like all the time. So a lot of like my success has to do with that as well. Or well, success sounds arrogant. I'm gonna say like progress. But you get the idea. Like they've been so helpful. Um, they actually do streams like every Thursday. I think I haven't been able to catch one because it hasn't, you know, Thursday hasn't really happened since the beta launch. But you know, oops, I could probably stop painting up there now. No, not rip trails. I'll be fine. I'm gonna finish it. I'm like right at the end of the first one. Besides, I'm like really engaged in that story and I want to play the entire series, so I'm gonna have to progress soon. too much. Let's see if I can use a different brush. Let's get rid of this shading because I think I picked a color that was a little too dark. Yeah, this is a little better. Actually, I've got an idea. Let's make this easier on my... Actually, no, because I want to be able to see what the player can see and what they can't. Oh, I see what happened. there was a quicker way to get to the color picker. There we go. Let's add some more light back to some of the... Ah, son of a... No, I'm not even going silent. I'm just focused. Oh, wait, I don't want to cover up my other brush stuff. Let's leave the beak part. Whoops. Okay, let's see. I want to play around with this a bit too. Whoa. Oh, yeah, that looks cool. There we go. Now you get to see his insides. Whoa. Okay. Oops. He doesn't actually have a name yet. I usually don't decide on that until like way later, to be honest. Okay, I'm gonna need to remove the... There we go. Actually, you know what? Let's try something a little wild here. Oh, that's what I hit. I was wondering why that kept popping up. I want to see what that looks like with everything. That looks better. Oh, right. The way the character moves, I don't think I'm going to be able to color both at the same time. Just because the eyelids need to close. Let me see if I can do something with the texture here. Hmm. There we go. Looks like those are still not connecting. Yeah, okay. Wrong group. There we go. Oh, right. Wig. Okay, there we go. Let's unhide this and see how it works. Okay, just a little bit more. Oops. There we go. Okay. It in monochrome actually looks kind of cool now that I think about it. Or I see it in, you know. Oh, right. Need to apply the actual... There we go. Damn it. Pretty sure that should work. See, the problem here is that it's not in the right group to follow the eye lid. Okay, so let's see if that worked. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Ah! Okay, let's see. Oops. Okay. Let's try like a... I don't know what color I should make these orbs. I also need to do the hat. Oh, this is a tough decision because I'm not sure. I could do like a fluorescent pink, actually. You know what? Let's try that. Let's do swirls or dots. Actually, Impressionist actually looks pretty good. Oops. Let's do like a pink. Yeah. I know it doesn't look pink right now, but it will in time. Don't worry. Hey, fish. Oh, cool. I can actually save the color. Hmm. Is there like a place? Ah, here it is. Cool. Well, let's just color the orbs and then worry about shading them later. Hmm. Well, I hope it comes soon, dude. Oops. There we go. There we go. Hey, no problem. Thanks for stopping in. Have a good night, dude. Hmm. All right, give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. Okay. Yo, yo. All right. Hmm. There we go. I don't even need to color in here. I just probably shouldn't do that just in case something cuts out and clips with the model. Okay, let's see. There we go. Oh, maybe I should color them all. Hmm. Let's see. There we go. Let's see. There we go. I think that should be... Oh. Maybe a bit more. Looks good. Looks real good. Okay. I need to do the under eyelids, the hat, and you know what? I'm gonna see while I'm just in here. I'm gonna... Hmm. Because they all had like imprints in them, right? So the only problem is that I can barely see where the imprint is anymore. Eh. Hmm. Let's see. Yeah, I want to do the hat next, but I also want to see if I can do something with the painting really quickly too. Um, okay, let's try something. I'm not even going to color this the right thing. I just want to see if this will work. Oops. Hmm. It's not really the desired effect. Hmm. I don't know. Let's try something interesting here. Maybe I'll make some like do some like markings or something. Doesn't look that bad. Well, I have an idea of what I want to do in that case. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna take a quick break. Actually, I have an idea. Let's do this. Instead of just, turning out the stream for a couple minutes, I'm just gonna do this. Ooh, whoops. That should work. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, hello, I'm back. Took a little while, but, you know, that's how it is. um, so yeah. I don't really think there's too much else I need to do other than, you know, texture and shit. I need to try something else, though. Just to give this thing a little bit more, movement. Perfect. Okay. Oops. Okay. I'm gonna try something wild here. Okay. Here's my idea. I'm going to make this look like the cape is flowing. But how to do that? Oh shit. Shit. The only problem with that is that the cuff of the original drawing. You know what? I'll just draw on it afterwards. Okay. Oops. Movable, yes. Collision, no. Okay. So, what I'm gonna do is... this. And then what I'll do is... Actually, I want to hide the legs too. Okay. I can probably remove the front parts here, of like a cube or something. Just make it very gradual. Oh, you know what I should do? Mirror. Oh, I've got the perfect thing for this, actually. The curve. Oh, yeah. How do I make this look natural? I mean, that looks good enough to me. Let's make the springiness. And then what does it look like from the front? Looks pretty good. Okay. Let's make the top one a little bit more springy. Or less angly. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. There we go. Nice and fixed. Might need a little bit more springy. Perfecto. I have more work to do now, but you know, it's good. Looks cool. You know, I almost forgot to eat today. Should probably do that. I'm a bit of a dingus when it comes to that sort of thing. However, now I can actually focus on what I actually wanted to, because that stiffness was bothering me for a very long time. So I have to do the bottom eyelid, the hat, and the lower dress now. Then I can work on like practical effects. Okay. Let's do the hat. I feel like doing the hat. Actually, yeah, I'll just do purple. Actually, most of this is going to cover up any blemishes it has on the surface, too. Lucky me. After I finish this hat, I'm going to try and see what it looks like in other colors of environment, because right now I've just been doing the plain blue sky stuff. Which, you know, is great, but it doesn't exactly give you an idea of what a game lighting is going to look like. So I'll go do that in a moment. Alright. Should probably do less broad strokes. I'm gonna be able to undo easier. As I continue to completely ignore my own advice. Oh, I missed a spot. You know what I should probably do though is that. And there we go. Oh, jeez. Excuse me. There we go. That should be everything you need. Oh, what do you mean? Please enlighten me. I'm probably doing something wrong. Oh yeah, I know that. See, the thing is, I also want some texture, and this adds more to it. It's more of a style thing than anything else. I know you can like hue the whole thing. I just wanted to see what it would look like if I had like everything colored in with an actual like flex. Yeah, the spray doesn't work for me. Like for some like it won't let there's no like brush thing, specific brush to like color the actual model. As far as I'm concerned, I couldn't find it. There's an easier way than this, then, I will absolutely hear you out on that. But because if I wanted to like cover each individual rind of this hat um the same color but have like the bands that are also part of the same sculpt a different color, I don't think I can do that. At least the volume brush was not working for me. And I don't even think the volume brush is what I should be doing, but yeah, I might try with the spray. I'll like copy a model and see if I can use the spray tool. I know this is going to be like thermo intensive if I continue doing this, but I want to see how far I can get with just like how this looks with just the flex. Yeah. See, and that's the thing is like I've been trying that too. I just wanted to color something in, if I'm being honest. Like this is working for me for the most part. I'm gonna merge all the paintings at the end to make it like less thermo heavy, but at the moment, um, instead of struggling with the tool, I figure I'd move on to something else for now and see if I can find it out later. Because it didn't seem right that you were able to like that you wouldn't be able to like color individual parts of a sculpture if they were like sculpted together. So because like this hat is one entire object, and that sculpt tool only allows you to paint entire objects, as far as I could tell, or like not grouped together, but like one sculpt. So as long as it's a part of like one singular sculpt, it won't let you paint several colors. It only lets you apply the tint to the entire sculpt. That was my understanding, anyway. I know this probably isn't the best way to color, but it's all I know right now. See ya, Jess. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. But by all means, if there is an easier way, I would love to see it. I'll do that when I'm done coloring this hat, because if I leave this half done, it's going to drive me nuts. I was considering just going and watching like a Media Molecule stream to see if I could figure out how they color things on like multicolored objects, because while I do like this, it's very time consuming to color an entire sculpture. Oh, right, I didn't apply the... Oh, shape of my creation, because it's... I see what you mean. Yeah, okay, let me try something here. Let's hide the paint. So, let's try the hat. Going to coat mode. Now, say I try to make it dark red. Just makes the whole thing dark. It's not from Rayman, I just kind of made it on my own. It does kind of look like a Rayman character, though, now that you mention it. But, like, okay, for instance, though. Oops, not paint mode, coat mode. Now, if I wanted to, say, coat just this part, or, like, you know, paint in here, because it's one entire sculpt, I don't think I can do that. If it was several segments, sure. I could do that, absolutely. But because it's one entire... Like, this entire hat is one sculpture. Okay, let's see. And let's make red. See, but it does, like, even if I have this square, right? It still makes the entire sculpture that color. And if I move it down too much, it just disappears altogether. Which makes no sense. Let's try... See what I mean? Like the whole thing, even though it's not covering the whole thing, it just coats the entire sculpture as that color. You just watched the guy do it? Okay. I mean, I figure you're right because it seems dumb that you wouldn't be able to do that. See, let me see if I can find like a YouTube video of somebody doing it. Coloring sculptures in dreams. Because, okay, I'm going to look at this Media Molecule video. Maybe. What do you think he may have been using the move controllers when he was painting that? You see if I can get to the point where I can watch him. That's not it either. Okay. Well, I'm going to be right back. You don't have to stick around. I'm going to go and have dinner. But when I come back, I'll see if I can investigate that. You know what? Fuck it. I'm actually going to end the stream now. But thank you very much for watching.